Hey folks, been a little while since I've done a video. So going through some full-time job change right now, getting ready to start a new budget analyst job on Monday, actually management analyst job on Fort Bragg. I'm excited about it. I will be getting back into supervision. Man, I will become a leader once again in the workplace. I've shied away from it for several years, largely due to my Army Reserve commitment while I was still serving, especially while serving at the capacity of a Command Sergeant Major. I did not want to also be a leader at my full-time job, as well as some of you might be able to relate or imagine. So I'm excited for the opportunity, ready to get back at it. Certainly don't know everything. Lifelong learner, committed to lifelong learning, and when you're done learning, you're done. So anyway, the bottom line up front, what I wanted to discuss today was the concept of if it's not in writing, it didn't happen. Okay, as it relates to leadership and counseling and all those things. We often look at that as the perception of being negative, right? Oh my gosh, if it's in writing, what did I do wrong? What are the negative connotation associated with that? What are the infractions down the road, right? Well, so here's what we got to do. Here's how to get away from it always being negative. Start out with positive, okay? Start out with positive orientation, positive counseling. These are the expectations. This is what's happening in the organization. Maybe avoid the word expectation, okay? Maybe the word expectation gets a negative connotation associated with it. So, I get it. Many organizations have their mandatory counselings, their mandatory annual appraisals. I think the word mandatory can have a negative connotation, right? And so we get ingrained in that, and it's kind of this public concept of, oh, go online, it's all online, do it for yourself concept. And so we get ingrained in that, consumed by that belief, those things, and we forget about and get away from the in-person, personable counselings, teaching, coaching, mentoring, development of our people, right? I'm not going to say subordinate. Subordinate can have a negative connotation. Everything can have a negative connotation. So anyway, if it's not in writing, it didn't happen. And I'm going to give you a few examples. So years ago, we had a soldier that was problematic. All right. Many efforts were made to develop them. It just wasn't working. So they failed their height weight and tried to get the commander, Lieutenant Colonel, to sign a counseling, to give them a counseling. I drafted it up. I mean, many of you know there's templates out there. Long story short, the commander would not do it. Okay. Very, very frustrating. And, the same commander had said that there was a paper trail on this soldier. How did I get involved, and why do I care, and why do I question it? Well, the commander wanted me to be the bad guy, so to speak. Wanted me to try and work with this soldier to develop them and make them better. And my argument was, sir, I'm willing to do that, but I need your support. So you're telling me there's a paper trail. I want to see the paper trail. Well, never showed me the paper trail. There likely wasn't a paper trail, and my test to that was this templated, very simple height weight failure counseling for the commander to issue to their soldier, not my soldier, okay? I wasn't even in the rating chain. This was, I was simply asked to help with this situation. So that's what I needed. So that's the essence of where this comes from. Modern day, fast forward, I ran into it again in the civilian sector this time. Problematic employee. Has been problematic for over 3 years. Okay. Well tenured at this point. So tenured means they're harder to get rid of, if it comes down to that. And everything requires a paper trail. All right. So we got to get after it. We don't like writing. We don't like confrontation. I got it. And I try to avoid confrontation and burning bridges at all costs as well. But sometimes, things get tough. The tough get going, right? You've got to have those tough moments in order to make things right. And, worst case scenario, last ditch effort. If counseling methods don't work, all right, if conversations do not work, and the dreaded action is required to part ways with the organization or with that person, you got to have a paper trail. You just simply do. Okay. So anyway, I was saying this. I talk among other people before I just blast my ideas out there, or put my ideas in play, right? And always trying to be self-aware, check myself, all that stuff, but not doubt myself too much, because you got to be confident in your everyday life. So from time to time, I get the feedback of, well, Bill, you assume that others care. Yeah, I do assume others care. How do you go to work? I mean, you work a large part of your day, a large part of your life away from home, and not care. I guarantee you care about something during that time at work. So let's elevate this. Now you're a boss. How do you not care? I mean, seriously, how do you be a boss or a leader or supervisor without caring? You have to care. Now, it's been said you can care too much. Got it. You can care too much. But make sure that it's not an issue of not caring enough. Okay? And that care, let's transfer that into productivity. Be informed. Okay? Have your resources. Have your references. Have your templates. Have your things ready, at your fingertips, so that you can be confident and make your caring productive. Okay? Make your caring productive. All right? Because otherwise, it's just all talk. It's just all conversation. How often does the bad employee or the issue get talked about, right? But we do nothing about it. It's like when I used to write NCOERs and write evaluations and write awards. Man, all that time we spent talking about it, I used to joke I could sit down and probably write 3 of them. I mean, what's it take you to write an award or an evaluation? If you really sit down and concentrate, 30 minutes to an hour? I mean, how easy is it to sit around and just chat about it for a half hour to an hour, right? Getting nothing done. Nothing done. You might be getting some good advice, but, are you putting it into play? Because I think we just, we get busy. Again, writing, confronting things are just not our favorite things to do. So, be proactive, okay? Prepare yourself. Be prepared. Be informed. Is it ever going to be perfect? No. Few instances it isn't going to be right? So, right place, right time, right uniform, saying exactly the right thing at the right time, for the right reasons, right? It's all challenging. But the fact of the matter is, at some point, you have to act. You have to care. You have to show that you care, okay? And there's got to be a paper trail to fix things, right? To fix situations, okay? Now, if it's, in your everyday life aside from work, and it really doesn't matter, just things to talk about, I got it. Got it, man. Not everything's regimented. Not everything requires the same attention, but the bottom line up front here is, if it's not writing, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. Okay, conversations are conversations. Just like with investigations, right? They typically want a sworn statement. You'll sit down, you'll have a conversation, they'll record stuff, and then they'll typically draft up a sworn statement that you sign per that conversation. All right, that's what I have today, folks. Get out there, enjoy your day, enjoy your weekend. Take care.